What's good, y'all? This is Luke, aka Harmonious Flux, coming to you with a little bit of message today. So what I want to talk about today is this concept of archetypes. And I'll probably do a little bit more on this subject, but I want to kind of touch base on it and explain what archetypes are and this kind of journey that we all take as human beings. There's this motif of how we journey through our lives. And to kind of begin off, if anybody knows who Joseph Campbell was, he really kind of, I guess you could say, pioneered this concept of the hero's journey. All right, and so in every story, if you go through any type of movie that you can see today, any Greek mythology, all the mythologies, Joseph Campbell was deep into mythology and symbolism, and basically he looked at these different cultures, these different stories, and how they had a completely similar, complementary framework of how the hero's journey displayed itself, how the hero's journey played out. And so bringing that in is knowing that there is this space where life is cyclical. Life is a circle. You know, you look at the wheel of fortune in the tarot and all of these other symbolic displays of the wheel. We are all journeying on our own wheel, in a sense. And the thing is that, you know, what we can do along this journey is we can play these certain archetypes. And there are certain, and when I say play, I really mean it. I mean like an actual play. This is a cosmic play that we're dancing out, we're playing out. And so we can put on these different faces, these different masks, these different identities, and these archetypes is something that we can play into as beings. And utilizing this in a wakeful awareness state, what we can do is we can start to see this great epic storyline of our lives. You know, we are a story. Everyone has a story, and what I'll tell you now, first of all, is that the best story you'll ever read is your own story. Once you really get into the resonance of what that truly means. But again, knowing that these archetypes we can draw from, these God and goddess archetypes, these heroic journeys, you know, all of these, I guess you could say, kind of like a role model type of energy. But going deeper into that sense, these archetypes, we can become these archetypes, we can embody these archetypes, at least the principles of them, and so then we start to, it can amplify our experience, if that makes sense. And so, again, coming back to this hero's journey, there's this journey that we're taking, and we have highs and we have lows, and we have the dark space, and we have the space of trouble where there's conflict, and then we have you know, certain stages along the way where we meet a mentor, we find some solace, and then we start to, you know, succeed and triumph, and then we have this great this other threshold that we must go through and conquer. And so there's this whole process of how we live life. And the thing is once we kind of have awareness of this process, once we can play into the archetypes in which are within us and can work for us, we can start to, basically, I'm bringing it into a modern term called flow hacking. And so this is basically hacking the state of flow. And what I relate this to the circle is if we can understand this circle, if we can work with the circle, let's say that we could maximize that cycle, but we could essentially go through the flow cycle, go through the hero's journey consciously, see these things, and once we recognize these little mile markers, these little reference points, and we can tap into those and understand, okay, this is happening now, this is how I can speed up that process, or this is how I can settle into this process, or this is how I can do the best I can to integrate this piece of my journey. And so archetypes play a huge role in this, and there's many archetypes. I mean, you can go into Vedic theology, all of the gods and goddesses and these beings that they spoke of in South America, in Africa. Archetypes in Greek mythology, again, there's like Zeus and Hermes and all these people, Thoth and Egyptian. There's these archetypes, right? And so we can play into that, is I guess my essential thing, is what I'm saying. And then there's this other deeper aspect that I want to share with you guys, is so that life is like a wheel. We have these ups and downs, we have these little spirals, and what I kind of see is it's not necessarily just a wheel going in circles, it's kind of, to me, a spiral. It's a spiral that we're spiraling through, and so even though we're going in circles and we're having these similar experiences all the way up, we're still evolving. We're still moving through a different space, a different experience, even though it's similar. And so, we have this potential. And then there's this other space that I'm talking about, is where we see the wheel, and sometimes the wheel goes really high, and then sometimes the wheel goes really low. And so when we can harmonize this wheel, and when we can even say, find the 0 point, find the space in between, the space, and I like to image that as the spoke, or the middle, the very middle of like a bicycle tire or a wheel. So that space is got the least resistance. That space is kind of zero fielded. It's almost stationary. It's still turning, it's still a part of the wheel, it's still that component, but it is centered, it is grounded, it is kind of the core, it's holding it all together. And so when we can come and find that center within ourselves, that core within ourselves, and also understand that this journey is happening, also understand that there's these archetypes that we can play into, these things that help solidify our truer vocation. It's a powerful thing. It's a powerful thing, and so I guess it's just something I wanted to share about this topic. So, if you want to look up Joseph Campbell, he's an incredible man. Back in, I think, like the 50s or something. He's an older gentleman who did a lot of work. I'll probably put some links down below. And that's kind of it, guys. So master your wheel of fortune, master your wheel, find that 0 point, and play into the cycle, allow the cycle to occur, accept the cycle and the moments of experience that kind of rhythmically need to occur. And when you can ease into those things, when you can go with the least resistance, you can maximize your I guess the only word I can think of is greater experience. Maximize your reality and the realities of others. So much love, guys. This is Harmonious Flux coming to you. Be well. Peace and serenity to you all. And if you like this video, subscribe, join the tribe. And that's all, guys. Take care. Peace.